Okay, we are into our next level of carbon footprints, 100 tons to a million tons. So that's a massive range of carbon footprint items. And surprisingly, here is having a child. It can cost the world 100 tons of CO2 equivalent even if you produce a child that is totally carbon conscious, and it can jump to 373 tons CO2 equivalent for an average child in the UK, 688 tons CO2 equivalent for an average child in North America, and more than 2000 tons CO2 equivalent if you produce one that is not going to care about carbon footprints and so on. It will be a high impact child. So if you have two typical children, that's 746 tons over their lifetimes. Obviously there is the evolutionary aspect of humans wanting to have children, procreate just like any other species, one of the major evolutionary features, and there are religious, cultural, societal pressures as well which make people have children. And then there are people like Elon Musk, who I think has 8 children or 7 children, and says everybody must have more children because the planet is losing population. Well, that's kind of a dangerous guy there. Women are having fewer children nonetheless. Global fertility rate, live births per woman, have been dropping since about the 1970s. So even as a population bomb was being put out as a scary picture of Malthusian disaster by Paul Ehrlich, Green Revolution and so on allowed populations to grow. But educating women has been a major contraceptive of dropping fertility rate. So women, the more choice they have financially and other decisions, the fewer children they tend to have. And many of the projections suggest that we may drop below replacement rate, which is 2.1. So if you want human population not to dwindle away, then each couple has to have a little bit more than 2 children to replace themselves, because there are some that are going to die before they reach adulthood and so on. So there are books called Empty Planet and so on, which also tell you that the probability of population dropping precipitously is real, even though many population projections also say we're going to hit 10 billion by 2050 or so. So we have to keep all those things in mind. How populations of selected countries might change from 2017 to 2100. So projected population in 2100 versus what it was in 2017. China, you can see that there is a massive drop of more than 50%. India, not as much, but also a drop. Nigeria, on the other hand, is projected to go up quite a bit from I don't know, 0.25, 0.28 to 0.8 or so, almost 4 times. The USA is always the issue of immigrant population growth versus fertility growth and so on are always challenges. Japan has been a poster child for women not having children, not getting married. The incentives by the government to encourage couples to have children also doesn't seem to have worked, and they don't want immigration. There are many other countries which may already be below replacement rate, probably Greece, Portugal, Spain, Germany and so on. So there is the idea of what the child will do once it's born in terms of carbon footprint, which is in this range of 100 ton to a million tons. But I'm just giving you this picture again that population growth is not going super exponentially as it had done from about the 50s to the 70s or so. Okay, so here's a map of total fertility rates, and there are hotspots in Africa, Asia, but you can see that China and India are actually in reasonable rates, and there are lots of articles written about the issues associated, the cons and pros and cons of population drop. China is already facing massive problem of retired people, elderly care issues, and so on, apparently resulting from the one-child policy, and China has given up the one-child policy and even encouraging people to have children now. So you can see how things change. Here is the total fertility rate per woman between 1950 to 1955, and you can see that the numbers were quite high in some places of Africa, 8 to 8.89. India here is in the range of I think 4 to 4.99 or 5 to 5.99, and China was up there, and so on. You compare this with to the recent period 2010-2015, so you can see most of the dark colors here completely disappear. So China, India, Japan is of course down there, and much of Asia, Australia, everywhere except in Africa and these parts of the Middle East or Asia are have had a drop in fertility rates. So we have to keep that in mind as well. And as I pointed out before, in the context of population, having a fewer children doesn't necessarily mean an overall reduction in carbon footprint, because women who are having fewer children are giving more resources to each child, which automatically comes with an increased consumption. This is where a carbon conscious child becomes very critical. Okay, another item that is a big ticket item is a swimming pool, especially when it's heated, maintained, circulation system, chlorination, cleaning, etc., etc., can be 400 tons of CO2 equivalent per year. That's the same as 40 people living the 10-ton lifestyle, or just over the expected lifetime footprint of a child born in the UK today. So swimming pool is about the worst way to do exercise. Okay, go out there, swim in the lake or ocean, or run, walk, jog, hike, ride your bicycle, whatever. But swimming pool is a fun, it's cultural exchange place. It's a place to gather, celebrate, enjoy the summer heat, and so on. But yet one must keep in mind that swimming pool in general is an incredibly high carbon footprint item if it is used as recreation or exercise. It doesn't matter. Okay, the footprint of a swimming pool in a small Scottish town, depending on how it is heated, grid electricity consumption, natural gas, office supplies, food and shampoo. You know, you have to be clean around the pool before you get in and when you get out. Chemicals and waste landfill, staff commuting, and customer travel. So keep that in mind. Swimming pool, not a very good way to enjoy life. But does that mean we're going to get rid of swimming pools? No. Hopefully renewable energies can reduce the carbon footprint, and I don't know what else can be done. Maybe there is green chemistry that can help with the cleanliness and the safety of the water for swimmers and so on. Okay, so we have one more item, that is deforestation in this 100 million to 1 million ton range, and I'm going to give it a special attention by giving it a whole podcast, because this is a serious issue as well. Should be part of the natural solution, but obviously deforestation has been going on since the end of the last ice age and evolution of the modern human being, who is mainly agricultural. Okay, so not to get too far ahead, but just wanted to say that here, and we'll see you in the next podcast.